connection. The surprising thing is the UDA tying up with them rather than the neo-Nazi groups tying up with the UDA.
The UDA is still legal in England, and there is no evidence to suggest that C-18 members like Charlie Sargent or Eddie Whicker have ever been involved in UDA terrorism, even though the links between the two organisations are close.
Eddie Whicker's very secretive. His function is, well, he's the UDA man. I'd say he's a courier between the two. He's a regular visitor to Belfast, and over in Belfast he's well liked and respected. When you're invited to join C-18, that's it. Then you're no longer doing things at a British National Party or National Front. You're doing things that have the blessing, because of who's running it, of the UDA.
World in Action's evidence about Combat 18 is now to be considered by a House of Commons Select Committee.
The Home Affairs Select Committee has been concerned over a number of years about racial attacks. What we now have is some evidence of a coordinated attempt to encourage racial attacks, and the Home Affairs Select Committee is going to be very interested in that evidence, and if we find that there is that sort of coordination, we are going to be making some very strong recommendations to the Home Secretary for effective action against it.
This is not a political organisation where you might be able to argue one way or the other about the democratic right to engage in the political process. We're talking about a criminal conspiracy, and it's up to the police to take action and prevent them engaging in this sort of activity.
Organised in cells, using only an American address, Combat 18 has so far operated in secrecy, until tonight.
I'd like to ask you some questions about Combat 18 and the UDA.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right? They'll piss off out of it.
Mr. Sargent, we're from World in Action. We'd like to ask you some questions about Combat 18, if that's all right. Yeah. We'd like to ask you about these Red Watch bulletins, which you produce. Which Combat 18 produces. You're the leader of Combat 18. They're nothing more than hit lists, really, aren't they? All right. Well, where are they publishing? They're published in America. Why do you use an American address, Mr. Sargent? What have you got to hide? What have you got to hide, Mr. Sargent?
Yeah, why?
Why do you use an American address?
I don't use it. Is it my address?
It's not your address. Why don't you use your own address, Mr. Sargent? Why do you use an American address?
You push me.
Now, Mr. Sargent, please, we're not causing any trouble.
Well, yeah, what's he hit me for it?
He's not hitting you. You attack our camera. Use an American address. You sell UDA magazines?
Yeah, no, I sell LPA magazines.
The Loyalist Prisoners Association,
right, yeah.
which was set up by the UDA.
Well, I don't know who it was set up by.
Yes, you do, Mr. Whicker. It was set up by the UDA, and you know it because you're a member of the UDA.
Well, what is there a law against that or something?
Well, tell us about the arson attack on the Morning Star that Combat 18 carried out. Did you order that attack, Mr. Sargent?
Yeah.
Did I?
Did I?
You did. You just said yes.
I said yeah, did I? I did say
The attack on Freedom Books the weekend before last, Mr. Sargent. Did you organise that one?
Did I? You tell me.
Tell me you do not support the UDA.
No, look, there's no comment on that. No comment on it.
Because you do support them, in fact.
Well, that's beside the point. Whether I support them or not.
No, it's an important point whether you support a terrorist organisation.
Well, I don't class them as a terrorist organisation.
But you support them.
Hey?
But you support them.
If it come down to it, yeah, I would support them.
You would support them. Do you like to tell us about your relationship with Covington?
Yeah, you pay me.
What's your relationship with Harold Covington?
Yeah, you pay me.
So there is a relationship?
Is it? You pay me and I'll tell you.
What they do is they kill Catholics. Do you support that?
There's no comment on it.
What about your relationship with the UDA? Would you like to tell us about your relationship with the UDA, Mr. Sargent?
Yeah, what about the UDA?
About your relationship with the... Would you like to tell us about it? About the joint activities between C-18 and the UDA?
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about...
Put it in your head, that's what's going on. Put it in your head, that's what's going on.
Months ago. 2 weeks after it was shown, I was forced out on my own by local thugs. Why? See for yourself.
The police know who they are. The thing is, why can't they move them on? They stood there just abusing everybody who passed it anyway. And if you do answer them back, they'll petrol bomb your house, they'll do this, they'll do that, they'll do the other thing.